Hey, what's up guys? So this is the last week of the Average to Savage off-season peaking program, and on the bar is 275 pounds, and this was supposed to be for a double.
And the elephant goes to...
And as you just saw, I failed the second rep. Going into the gym, I just had a strong feeling that I wasn't going to double 275, but even knowing that, I was pretty pissed that I failed, so what I decided to do to match the workload was to hit a bunch of singles with the same weight. So hitting 275 for singles felt really manageable, so from here on out I tried to get a more and more solid pause with each single. I also ditched the wrist wraps because they were a pain to put on and I didn't feel like I needed them. So with each passing set I felt more and more confident with the weight, and the bar speed actually increased, which leads me to think that this is not a strength issue, but rather a problem with me just needing to work with heavier weights more often.
Big blue eyes, pointy nose.
And that single felt incredibly easy, and so I decided to just YOLO it and try to double it. And that was a bad idea, so after that I dropped it down to 260 and was supposed to triple it, which was something I already did the previous week, so I should have been able to do it. But after having missed those couple reps with 275, I was already fatigued by this point and couldn't bang out the last rep.
We communicate by
So that was a pretty disappointing session, but I did learn a few things about programming, which I'll talk about later. So now let's move on to the overhead press day.
What does the fox say?
So this double with 146.25 pounds felt really solid, and I felt like I had plenty more in the tank.
Happy, happy, happy.
138.75 pounds also felt really manageable.
What does the fox say?
Then finally 130 pounds for 5 reps, and I tried to get a funny angle with the GoPro rip-off camera, but all it did was just get in my way and kind of just made it harder for me.
What does the fox say?
So let's talk about what I learned about programming after running the Juggernaut method and part of the Average to Savage program. The problem that I have with these programs is that 1, this is one of the only times I've touched 275 in months. So to expect that I would be able to double this and set a new PR after months of not touching this kind of weight was too much for me. I felt like neither my mind nor my body was ready for it. And you know, I just didn't feel like I have had enough exposure to heavier weights to feel confident enough with them to be able to set new PRs. And this was a big problem for me with the Juggernaut method in particular. So theoretically, I was supposed to be able to hit 275 for a double, but I feel like I would have been able to achieve that better if I spent some time doing some solid doubles with, 260, 265, 270 first, before trying to double 275. So for me and my personality type, I think linear progression type programs work much better for me, and they have in the past. I never struggled this much, and I don't think I ever missed any reps, just because I was always prepared for what was coming to me and nothing took me by surprise. Whereas with these types of programs, I don't ever get to touch 90% for months, and then all of a sudden I'm supposed to be able to double it at the very end of the program. The second problem, and this has to do with all non-individualized programs, is that the percentages are not fine-tuned for each individual lifter and his or her lifts. So for instance, the idea that 90% is supposed to be a difficult triple or easy double, or 85% is supposed to be a hard set of 5 or an easy triple, or that you're supposed to be able to do a 5x5 with 80% of your 1 rep max, does not apply to everyone and all their lifts. And I know personally for me, my absolute bench strength is pretty high, but in comparison, the weights that I need to use to do rep work with is relatively low. And for the squat, it's the opposite. My absolute strength is pretty low, but I can do a lot of reps with heavier weights. So it's the opposite. So to put it into perspective with numbers, my max on squat is 415 pounds, and I can hit 365 pounds for 6 reps. Now that's 88% of my 1 rep max. But there's no way I can do the same for bench. The best I can hope for is a double with that kind of percentage for bench. And with deadlifts, I've done up to 90% for 6 reps before. So going back to the idea that 90% is supposed to be a difficult triple, it's just not really true. With squats, I can do 80% for a 5x5, but for bench, I would need to drop it down to at least 75%, and for OHP, maybe even lower than that. So you can just see that you can't just take these blanket percentages and then just slap them across all your lifts. So I feel like to get the most out of a program, you need to fine-tune the percentages. If you just apply the same percentages on to all your lifts, I feel like you could be underworking some lifts and then overworking the other ones. So, you know, don't be afraid to adjust the percentages a little bit, even if it's just by 1 or 2%, if that's what you need to do to make it more challenging or more manageable for you. Don't feel like you need to stick rigidly to a template. You can adjust the program to your individual differences, but still keep the overall principle of the program intact. You know, just do a little fine tuning here and there. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope I gave you guys some food for thought, and please like the video if you liked it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Hey guys, check out my mom's new car. It's pretty sweet. It's a Toyota RAV4. It's got all this technology shit. Like, look at this. This is clean. You got Bluetooth over there, all these freaking heat controls. I don't know what they do. And then I guess all the new cars have this new feature, the reverse camera. Now, let me show you guys what the backup camera looks like.